Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how I made this animation in Blender 3D. So first delete the cube and add a sphere, then add a particle system to it and switch it from emitter to hair, and from here you can adjust the hair length and the number as well. Then go down here and click on children and choose the third option, and make sure you set the display amount and render amount to the same value so that there won't be any differences when you render the animation. And before adjusting the hair shape, go into the render settings and here under curves choose strip instead of standard. So now we can adjust the hair shape, and by adjusting the diameter scale we can get our model to look fluffier. Then to make the eyes, add a circle, adjust its position and scale it down a bit. Go into the modifiers tab and add a mirror modifier. Then go into edit mode and press E to extrude and F to add a face in the middle, and then extrude again. After that, add a subdivision modifier. And now moving on, we can start working on the legs and arms. So for that, first add a curve, move it up, and then go here in the curve settings, and under geometry you can play around with the size of the curve. Then go into edit mode, delete the curve, and then by clicking on this pen tool right here on the left, you can add a curve just by drawing it, just like this. And now that we finished working on our little soot sprite model, we can create a star. So for that, first add a cylinder, and here on the left you can change the number of vertices and set it to 10. Adjust its position, then go into edit mode. Select these corners and press S to scale them down. Then select the star and scale it down on the Z-axis. Then you can press Ctrl R to add two loop cuts. Then select the top face and press M to merge vertices, and do the same for the bottom face as well. And that's pretty much it for the star. Now you can start working on the shading. So enter the shader editor, select the main body and add a new material. For this one, add an emission shader and set the color to black. Then select the legs and arms and add the same material. Now for the eyes, add a new material and make this one white. Then add a second material, and we will use the first material for this. Then go into edit mode, select the face in the center and press I to insert, and assign the second material to it. Now you will see that the edge of the circle does not look right, and that is because of the subdivision modifier, but to fix that you can just press I again. Now select the star and add a new material. For this one, add a diffuse BSDF, a shader to RGB, and a color ramp. Connect them and set the color ramp to constant, and set the colors to your liking. And now we can animate our model. So for that, first select the legs and arms, then go into the edit mode, select one leg and then press P to separate the selection, and do the same for the other leg as well. Then go here in the left corner, select the cursor and place it just above the leg. Then set the origin to 3D cursor. So now you can select the first frame of your timeline and press I to add a keyframe. Then you can rotate the leg a bit just like I did here and press I again. And then you can just repeat the same process for the other leg as well to create the walking animation. Then you can duplicate your soot sprite model and move it around. And you can also go into the shader editor and play around with the colors of the stars for more variety in your scene. After that, to align the camera to your current view, you can press Ctrl Alt plus numpad 0. And now to make the ground, add a plane and scale it up. Then go into the shader editor and add a new material. Add a noise texture, a mix node, and two Voronoi textures. Then add a mapping node and plug the mix node into the scale. Then add an object info node and the texture coordinate. Then plug the mapping node into the vector of the two Voronoi textures and set both of them to smooth F1. Then add another mix node to connect it to Voronoi textures and set this one to soft light. And you can plug the mix node into the output node to see what we're doing. Then add a color ramp and set it to ease. And adjust the colors to your liking. You can see here the hex codes for the colors that I used if you want to use the same ones. And then you can adjust the settings of the Voronoi textures and the noise texture as well. And finally, to have some control over the shadows as well, you can add a diffuse BSDF, a shader to RGB, and a color ramp. Then add another mix node to connect it to color ramps and set it to multiply. Then set the top color ramp to ease as well and adjust the colors. You can also add an emission shader if you want to, but this doesn't really change much, so it's optional. Here is the final shader for the plane. And now the only thing our scene is missing is a light. So add a point light and then go here in the light settings. From here you can change the power to a higher number. And then you can adjust its position to the way you like. And if you go back in the shader editor and adjust the second color of the color ramp, you can see that it will only affect the shadows, so you can make them look any way you want. And now for a final touch, you can add an outline around the stars and the eyes of the suit sprites. So to do that, first select all the stars and the eyes and move them into a separate collection. Then add a collection line art and select the collection you want to have the outline. Then go here under edge types and disable intersections, and you can adjust the line thickness as well. And that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching.